And welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The Messages of Inspiration and Hope is proudly brought to you today by the good guys at the 6-Minute Webinar. As you see on the ticker tape down there, our guest today is Dr. Don McGrath. He's going to be telling the story of the two pals. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat. If you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, or you know of someone that fits that category, they really need to see this show. The show will be downloaded tonight and it'll be uploaded on our YouTube channel, Messages of Inspiration and Hope. So please share that. They can also see it after the broadcast for a few hours on Facebook at our Facebook page, Messages of Inspiration and Hope. Don Aguinwa and I were great friends with Don. He's internationally known around the world as Dandy Don. Him and I have been friends for several years. We've been business partners, or we are business partners, I should say. But most importantly, the amount of golden nuggets that's going to be coming your way on how you can communicate with your customers. And just wait till you see what Dandy Don brings to the party. And I'm so excited. We were having a lot of fun right before the show. And most importantly, be sure and share the show with someone. And I want to give a shout out to you folks in India and Pakistan. Thank you so much for liking this show. Thank you for your comments. And we'll be right back right after this brief message.
Hi, and welcome to the Messages of Inspiration and Hope show that's proudly sponsored by the 6-Minute Webinar. Today we have some exciting and very interesting guests, real people just like you and me. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the show. Now here's Jim.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're just so excited. I got to bring my good friend. She's actually my distant cousin. We're so distant, we're not even related. But Donna Aguinwa, I got to bring her to the show. Donna, how are you today?
Hi, Jim. I am awesome. We're so distant, we're not even related. I love that.
That's a long, boring story behind that, but we're just great friends. Most importantly, everybody associated with the show, the people we've had on the show, we're just a total network of family, helping each other. And got each other's back. And if you're a solopreneur and you're an entrepreneur, you need to get connected like that. And let me ask you a question, Donna. When I mention the name Dr. Don McGrath, or as I call him, Dandy Don, what comes to your mind?
The best, most incredible man with a heart of gold, and an entrepreneur or solopreneur's absolute guru teacher.
Ooh. I mean to tell you. And we got to invite him to the stage. I'm going to do the button pushing. I'm going to let you do the inviting.
Absolutely. Don McGrath, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you so much, Donna, for having me on the show today. I'm just so excited to be on your show again and talk about the tale of two pals.
Absolutely.
Well,
because oh, yeah. It's always a treat for us to have you here, Don, because all the work that you do. And Don's going to be sharing a lot of information. And when he says the word free, make a mental note of that. Free means free. It's not one of those deals where it's free to come and you got to pay to get out the door or something like that. Free means free, and you're in for a treat. So, Dandy Don, I'm going to turn the show over to you, brother, because all of the value you're going to be bringing to the audience, sir.
Thank you. And I wanted to share, I think all of us know 2020 was quite a ride, wasn't it?
Train wreck sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you could put so many labels on it. It was extraordinary in our lives. Those have been on the planet, for a number of trips around the sun. It was certainly extraordinary. And there's a lot of challenges, but a couple of really tremendous, incredible things came out of that time. One is this show. Right. This show really was born out of the pandemic. I still remember, I think it was the 21st of March, 2020, where the executive team at Scale Pathway, then Speakers Pathway, got together and we were like, our world has been rocked. We had just come back from a bunch of live events in Phoenix. And all of a sudden, this whole pandemic thing, and we weren't traveling. Some people who were on a book tour got, their knees cut off from their book tour. And we're like, well, what can we do? What can we do to give back? What can we do to help people get through this and help ourselves to get through this selfishly? And we started, what do we do, Jim?
We had a meeting with the executive training directors, and Bill Heinrich just says, hey, we get on this thing right now. And Bill just hit the ball right out of the park. He simply said, we got Zoom. We got Facebook Live. We know a lot of speakers. Why don't we just start doing webinars on messages of inspiration, hope, and support? That was the original title. And everybody just bit into it. Sony says, I can do this. And Preston says, I can do that. Don says, I can do this. And Don says, oh, Jim. I said, yeah, you're going to be the host. Oh, okay, I can do that. And
yeah, voluntold.
Yeah, I voluntold. I love that. And within 24 hours, I think we had over 60 speakers, didn't we, Don?
We had a call for speakers on Facebook to a couple of groups. And
yeah.
within 24 hours, we had 60 people sign up. And that's when I knew we were onto something. Mm-hmm. And so over the course of the next, 2 months, possibly, we were doing daily during the week, Monday through Friday shows. We had over 200 speakers sharing their messages. And we said, wow, this is really great. And we were having fun. We were getting exposure. We were giving exposure. And so it just built and built and built. And look what it's become today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Really what happened to it, it just generated its own energy. Because when you give from the heart, game over. No matter what your obstacles are in life and what you're facing in life, right where you are right now is the perfect place for you. And when you give them the heart, game over. And that's what we did. And I never will forget that Saturday morning that Tamara Hunter gave me a call. I just lost my earpiece, so I'm going to keep talking since I don't talk with my ears. But Tamara gave me a call. It was 5 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and we'd been, texting back and forth. She's a real good friend of ours. And she says, Jim, you need to take this show to the E360 TV network. And I said, okay. She introduced it to Aaron Hymas, president, and here we are. And my point being, when you give from the heart like that, look what happens. We didn't send an email. We didn't ring anybody's doorbell. We didn't, hand anybody a card, and we're here.
So the other lesson, besides giving from the heart, is, Jim, and Donna, you both say, I always say success rewards
action.
Everybody who's worked with me gets tired of hearing that phrase. Success rewards action is probably the most common thing you'll hear this man ever say. And so that was a situation where when you don't know what to do, when you're confused and you don't know what to do, take an action. And it almost doesn't matter what it is, because it's not clear for you to know what to do. And by staring at your navel and thinking more doesn't help. Right. So take an action, see what happens, and go with the energy. That's exactly what we did. So when you're unsure, which many of us swim in very uncertain waters these days, and last year in particular, take an action, see what happens. Just do it. Just do it like Nike says.
You're exactly right.
And line yourself up with people who are giving from the heart and want to lift you up, not push you down. And that's what the script pal and everything that you have developed, you and Bill, is all about.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It really is, because you got to surround yourself with people who have a like mind, a like heart. People will help you get from where you are to where you want to be, and in return, you do the same thing. That's a win-win situation. The folks who are not like that, I simply say, and people get tired of hearing this, I said, you need those people in your life like a hog would need a side pocket. But you're going to show us some things today, aren't you, Don?
Well, yeah, I want to say that was the first thing that came out that was positive about 2020. The second thing that came out that was positive around 2020 was I began teaching some of the things that I learned about speaking. I started doing them as a webinar series, and I was put together a course, a web class called Webinars That Sell. Mm-hmm. And I had given that a few times, and Bill Heinrich happened to attend one of them. And, me being the feedback seeking kind of guy, I called up Bill and I was like, Bill, so what'd you think of webinars that sell? He's like, wow, it's really good, Don. But people keep talking about that short talk, 6-minute talk training that we did in Phoenix last October. And Stephanie's been bugging us, like, when are you ever going to do that again? Because people walked away with these incredible short 6-minute talks that they weren't, and were getting clients every time they gave them. And so he says, I think we ought to turn that into a 6-minute webinar. Boom. So that day, the 6-minute webinar was born. And within a week, Bill and I had both created our own 6-minute webinars, and we saw the potential, and we saw the power of it.
Absolutely. Because what I love about the 6-minute webinar, and the best way I can explain it to someone, imagine being able to get your ideal client's attention for 6 minutes. Because good marketing really does two things. It repels all the people that you cannot help, and it attracts to you all the people that you can help. And the analogy I use, or the example, is that, during this 6-minute webinar, I will show you 3 proven ways that you can lose weight. Boom, right there. I mean, people that's interested in losing weight, they say 6 minutes? Yeah, I'll listen to you. And those that don't need to lose weight, well, like Shania Twain, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and very quickly. Yeah. Very quickly, they're in or they're out. Mm-hmm. And the brilliance of the 6-minute webinar, it's actually a scientific architecture, is why we call it 6-minute webinar technology. It actually has seven steps that we walk people through the psychological process. If they are the right fit for what we do, it walks them through to where they want more. And so just very quickly, so the beginning is the introduction or hook. Welcome to the 6-minute webinar, where I will show you the 3 steps to losing weight. And so people very quickly they're out or they're in. Okay, I'd like to lose weight. I'm in. Then what would it feel like to have that body that you envision, where you can go to the beach and feel confident being in your swimsuit? What would that feel like? Great, right? So that emotional, have people feel like what it's going to feel like when they actually solve that problem. So hook, and then what we call future pacing, get them to feel the way it's going to feel. Then you move on to the problem, where you describe the pain that they're going through in not solving that problem. Then you tell your own personal struggle story. That's how you struggled with that very same problem, so that they empathize and connect and know that you were there once where they are and that you can help them. You then move on, you share with them a secret and a promise. Then you talk a little bit about yourself, very, very short about yourself, because it's not about you. So the credibility story, and then the story about how you discover the solution, the 3 keys or steps in your solution. Then a success story that use your solution. Then finally, the value that they're going to get when they take you up in your call to action, and the call to action. So it's just, it walks people through the psychological process to say, I want more, or along the way they leave, which is absolutely perfect.
The thing I love about it too, Donna, because a lot of times in marketing, people talk about the demographics. What's your demographics? But really what Don is getting into is the psychographics. That's the thing, hey, I got to have this. I know this person. Right. I like this person. I trust this person. I got to have what they got.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It filters out all the nonsense that so much that we see so much out there, and it really cuts to the meat and potatoes of what people are seeking and what it is that you offer.
And I just like to add one final thing to that, because all of us know what it's like. We get an email in, or get something in on Messenger or whatever, and you go like, okay. You click on that out of curiosity, and they go on and on and on and on, and they're still going on 20 minutes later talking about, well, let me tell you, I graduated from Harvard, and then I went over to court, and in 6 minutes we've already done our show 3 times.
The beauty is the science, right? That it's proven. It just works. You take out one element, it doesn't work. So it's a proven methodology. It's sequential. It works every single time. It'll weed the wrong people out and include and attract the right people. It's also only takes a couple hours to create one of these. So you can very quickly get a message out, test it, and see how it goes, and then modify it. So instead of spending weeks on creating a webinar and then hoping to get some people there who are right, and then hoping that they take you up on your offer, you can do this in a couple hours, you generate one, you get it out on a landing page and social media. We've had people post 6-minute webinars and within an hour make sales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one final thing I will say about it before I turn it over to you, Don, because this is your show, not mine, because you're the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, when we open up the show, be sure and let any entrepreneur or solopreneur, know about this show. You can like us on Facebook, Messages of Inspiration and Hope. You can also catch us tonight. It's going to be uploaded to YouTube at the Messages of Inspiration and Hope. And you can also email us there at inspiration@e360tv.com. That's this show's email. If you've got a question for Don, address it there. We'll get it to him. The stage is yours, my man.
All right. So that's it. That's the science of it. Now, as Bill and I dug deeper and deeper into it, and we've gone deep, and we've gone like as deep into the psychology and the words, like every word is precise. It's put there for a reason. We've designed this. We've refined it over several boot camps. We did a whole pilot or test group. So we have honed this down. So it is incredibly, incredibly tight. And one thing we discovered, there's actually 2 elements to this. There's the framework, which is getting those 12 sections that must be there. And then there's the content that's in there. They're having each section be incredibly powerful. And we were trying to teach it all in our boot camps. And we weren't getting it done in the 3 hours of our boot camp. So we were like, well, I think we need to figure this out. We need to crack the code on how do we get the framework taught and get the content taught all within 3 hours, and the recording and all that taught in 3 hours. So Bill and I had a conversation after our second or third boot camp. And the next day I woke up at 4 a.m. with the answer. I woke up with the answer. And I said, I know the framework. I have it exactly mapped in my head. And I knew as an engineer that I could have this programmed. I knew I could program it into an app, because all we needed to do is ask the right precise questions in a way that elicits the right format of the answer, and then have an app go and create the script in the framework that we needed. And so 2 hours later, so by 6 a.m., I had architected ScriptPal in an Excel automated spreadsheet. And then 3 weeks later, we actually had the app and we were testing it. Wow. And it was mind blowing. We solved the problem.
That's amazing, isn't it, Donna?
Love it. It is amazing. And the best part about it is, having gone through it, and I'll be in Saturday, but having already gone through it, is we get in our own head, right? We trip up on ourselves. And so we don't know, we keep thinking, well, I need to say this and I need to say that. And actually the beautiful part of it is you and Bill have taken all of that away to bring the precise message that is needed to attract your client, and takes us out of our own head and out of our own way to get the job done.
Absolutely. And because a lot of it, we see this in speakers quite a bit. They want to just talk and talk and talk and give so much value and give so much value and give so much value and also talk about themselves. And that's great, but it doesn't serve the client necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had someone come up to you and start talking about themselves and for 10 minutes straight? And how do you feel at minute number 6 or 7?
Punch drunk.
Like you just want to go, right? You're like, I don't know, give me any excuse. So there's actually very little about us in our 6-minute webinar. Very, very little about us. It's all about the problem of the client. Speaking about how we struggle with that. So we do talk a little bit about ourselves in our 6-minute webinar, but it's not about building up your expertise and building up. You know what? They don't care. All they care is that you connect with their problem and that you give them enough confidence that they feel that you can help them.
Oh yeah. They're just looking for someone to solve a problem. They're not looking to be impressed by someone's, who they are and all that stuff. That's boring.
So we created
Right.
ScriptPal 2 weeks later. So back in November, we created the first version of ScriptPal. We used it at our last boot camp, and people just loved it. It made it simple, fast, and easy to create this powerful 6-minute webinar. And Jim, is it okay if I introduce people to ScriptPal and actually show them my website?
Please do. Let me share the screen there. And
let me share. I'll share my screen.
Okay. All right.
And then I think you just gotta.
Did I do that correct?
I think so.
How about that? It's a banner day for me if I do the technical stuff correct the first time.
All right. So can you see my buddy ScriptPal?
Yes, sir.
So this is the ScriptPal app, and ScriptPal makes copywriting simple and fun. So really, people come, they fire this up. The first step in their 6-minute webinar training is they fire up ScriptPal. There's a short video on each one of the pages, and they answer a bunch of questions. So like, how are you using ScriptPal? You make a selection. You say, okay, I'm creating a script. Then it walks you through each section. For example, the first section is about you. It's about you, your business, and what problem you solve. And there's a few short answer questions, and we give hints and some examples so people can very quickly and very easily fill this out. It's about 40 short answer questions for most people who have a pretty clear idea of what they do and who they serve. It takes less than 30 minutes to go through this. And the last page looks something like this, where they answer these questions. It says, okay, give us an email. And I'll say, send it to this email. And then it says, hey, run over and check your inbox real quick because your 6-minute webinar script is on its way. So what we find is almost as quickly as I can get over into my inbox, my 6-minute webinar should appear pretty quick if everything's working right. There we go. Okay, so in less than a minute, I get an email that's from my buddy ScriptPal. Congratulations, here's your 6-minute webinar. And when I click on the webinar, or click on the script, it opens up a script that has been written by my buddy ScriptPal based upon all my answers, section by section by section with word counts. My responses are in bold, so I know what I can go tweak when I go to the boot camp or go to the training, what I can change and what is part of the framework. Is that cool?
I tell you, when you first told me about that, I'm going like, holy enchiladas, Batman. Are you kidding me? Because that just takes the work and the worry and the headache out of it. All you got to do is answer a few simple questions and push a button. Anybody can do that.
So let me just read through a part of this just real quick so you can see what this is. So you just answer these questions. And these are the example answers that we give. So welcome to the 6-minute webinar where I will share with you 3 keys to complete your first marathon feeling powerful, energized, and great. What would it feel like to cross the finish line of a 26.2-mile race and feel energized and accomplished? Awesome, right? We would all love to have more fitness and confidence, but it's so hard and requires so much work. You put off training, you train too much and get injured, and you may hire expensive coaches. Does this sound familiar? This comes right out of ScriptPal.
Wow. That's amazing.
So it's just that simple to create very, very powerful messages.
Now you see, yeah, that's amazing, Don. I got to applaud you on that, my man. I got to give you a standing,
right?
Well, not me not standing. I'm strapped in here so I don't fall out of my chair. But you know what I mean. But ladies and gentlemen, now you see the why I said earlier to let the entrepreneurs and solopreneurs know that could use this to be able to attract clients for their business. I mean, it's, oh goodness, great. I wish we'd have, if we'd have had this years ago, we'd probably be on our own island that we own. You know what I mean?
Would have been a lot easier.
And it keeps it makes it so easy, and it keeps us from tripping, on our own feet.
Yes.
Because sometimes we know, like back here, we know what we want to say, but again, we get in our own way. And so this is the beauty of this intense but easy program is it really defines and refines it for each and every person. And it doesn't matter what your business is. It fits you.
Exactly, Donna. And the thing that I love about it too, speakers like me and Don, speakers like to talk. That's why we're public speakers. We've been on stages and all these things. But the person that is an introvert and cannot speak much or not a good talker, both of these things balance, give them a perfect balance, because it's all about what the words you need to say on the 6-minute webinar to attract your clients.
And there's a new
and I'll go one step further.
Okay.
It gives them confidence, Jim.
It does. Thank you.
It gives the person who's who is an introvert.
We take the guesswork out of it. We take the guesswork out of it. Just answer 40 questions and boom, out comes your message with a powerful call to action. Just get your brain out of the way, get your heart into the action. There's a new phenomenon that came out of 2020. It's called Zoom fatigue. Have you ever suffered Zoom fatigue?
Have I ever suffered Zoom fatigue? How many Zoom shows have I done?
Okay, that term did not exist before this pandemic.
Wow. I guess so. I hadn't thought of that,
And so the situation that most people have, and it almost doesn't matter, like if you work for a company, if you have your own company, if you're just keeping in touch with relatives, it doesn't matter. No one goes unscathed by this. We're spending a lot more time in situations like this in front of the tube, and it can wear us out. So the thought of sitting in an hour and a half long webinar on top of all the other necessary things that I have to do is, I think we're zoomed out. I think the old style webinars are quickly dying.
Oh yeah. They're dinosaurs, because people do value their time more than money. And when you use an abuse,
successful people value their time more than money.
There you go. And when you waste people's time, you've really done them a disservice. I mean, why would they want to trust you if they knew that you abused their time? I mean, they don't need you.
Right.
So think how this feels. So, please come to my 90-minute long webinar. Well, I'll share with you the 3 keys to losing weight. Okay, feel how that feels. Now, come to my 6-minute webinar where I will share with you the 3 keys to losing weight. Which would you do?
Oh, that's a no-brainer.
Heartbeat, right?
In that hour and a half, 90-minute webinar, you've got one thing, and I'm also going to share with you just how great I am.
Well, and the other thing I'd like to touch on is that the way that we've had to change in 2020 is not going away. So the day of multiple huge in-person networking meetings and that kind of thing, those aren't going to survive much longer. There's going to be a few, but it is not what it used to be. And this is really what is going to be defined and going forward in our future. And you have the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to jump on that now.
Oh, yeah. Because, Don, I'm glad you brought that up. It triggered a thought in my mind, because the virtual stage is here to stay. And in the virtual stage, you can select who you want to be associated with, because as you mentioned, all those big events and all that, that's fine. And we've all done them and everything, spoke on stage and all that. But how many times you go there and you come back with a stack of cards about 1.5 inches thick, because people just hand you their card and you start looking at them and some of them doesn't even ring a bell. Where did I get this card from?
They collect dust.
Yeah. And it's just a big waste, because really what the virtual stage has done and what Don has done, we've just really trimmed down an easy way for you to get your message very effectively and very time saving method to attract your clients. That's just, I don't want to say thankful for the pandemic, but we are thankful that the pandemic made us take Zig Ziglar would say, a checkup from the neck up, because that's what we had to do. That's how it came about.
And there's another thing that's a result of the pandemic. We will see in the next year, 2 years, the largest transition of people working jobs to having their own businesses than we've ever seen in the history of the modern world.
You're absolutely right.
We are going to see we've already seen it. People have lost their job. I started seeing this over the holidays where I saw a lot of things in social media about, I'm finally going to start that business. People have been sitting on the sidelines in their job and they're like, heck with it. I'm still going to keep my job, but I'm getting my side gig. I'm finally doing it this year.
Yeah.
And
that way you don't feel like being a beggar at a rich man's gate, because when you lose your income, I mean, that's a horrible feeling. It really is. It puts you straight into Worryville,
It puts you into a panic mode that, right, that does not help your energy. And when you have a plan in place, and that's what's so beautiful about the 6-minute webinar, is this puts a plan in place and takes out that guesswork for you. And then you can hit the ground running at warp speed when you bring your business up. And you already have a game plan in place. That's the beauty of the 6-minute webinar. And,
everybody can see that, Jim and Bill and I, we've been around the sun a few times. I'll just put it that way. We've been around the sun a few times. And this is a legacy program for us.
Mm-hmm.
This is a legacy program for us. Our true intention is this year to have hundreds of thousands of people experience the power of the 6-minute webinar and to utilize it to help them accelerate and short circuit the learning curve in getting their business going. And so that's our true intention is for that to come to fruition this year.
Absolutely, because when you focus on helping others and being a blessing to others, you automatically bless yourself. Zig Ziglar talked about, you can get anything out of life that you want as long as you help other people get what they want. And that comes straight out of, Proverbs, where it says the generous person by watering others will be watered themselves. Notice the prerequisite there. You got to do something first, and then you're on the receiving end. Just like the farmer planting the field, he's got to plant the crops to be able to have the harvest in the fall.
Well, and I would like to also add that when you start a new business, and we've all been there, right? But when you start a new business, you're very uncertain and you can be scared because of, okay, I've got to have marketing, I have to have this, I have to have that, etc. And you think, oh my goodness, how am I going to get all that together? Time-wise, energy-wise, a lot of people who are starting businesses still have small families, so you're in 100 different directions. And then there's the worry about, and again, we've all been there. Am I going to get charged $10,000 for this?
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just telling you right here, right now, folks, that this program is absolutely exquisite. And it is made just for you. It is made for the beginner. It is made for the intermediate. And it is made for the person who's already successful, but wants to grow even more. And coming, knowing Jim, knowing Dawn, and knowing Bill, I couldn't be more pleased or happier to be aligned with 3 incredibly intelligent, gracious, and heart-centered men in my life who are also my friends, but they're also my mentors. And they're not afraid to call me out and say, Donna, you can do better. We're here for you, but you can do better. And that's what they do. And they don't charge you $10,000 to do it.
Yeah. So that's another one of our goals is to make this accessible for everybody.
Right.
That's why, our online training course and our boot camps, $99.
Right.
Like $99 to not only get a 6-minute webinar, right? I mean, where else can you spend $99 on your marketing expertise and get not only a 6-minute webinar, but also a framework that you can use over and over and over again to craft offers and messages.
Right. As you grow, you can just refurbish it and put in your new growth avenue in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we know people who are, a hypnotherapist who like the 6-minute webinar for weight loss. 6-minute webinar for smoking cessation, 6-minute webinar to stop drinking, 6-minute webinar for better relationships, 6-minute webinar. And they're all just focused on just one thing and identifying a message that works specifically for the person with that problem. So this is replicable. It can be done over and over and over again. And we, just like in Scale Pathway, we're doing our Scale Marketing Bootcamp, which is it's like a business makeover. Okay. And Jim and I probably paid tens of thousands of dollars for this kind of training for $247. So this is our legacy program for us.
Yeah, when he says we spent a lot of money, yeah, we did. I mean, you got to buy a house for what I spent on that. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, because $2,000 to $4,000 a day. I mean, that starts adding up real quickly. That takes the slack out of your chain there,
So, we crafted the 6-minute webinar. It's fully baked. I mean, we're switching from development to promotion like now. And so that's pretty much our offering is $99 for our bootcamp and online training. We have a done with you and done for you option for those who, want a little bit more help, but they're not thousands of dollars. I mean, these are priced very, very reasonably. But one thing we found, so a little short story. So I had done a training and I've been fascinated with all aspects of offers for the last couple of years. Jim can attest. I'm always thinking about benefit bullets and, the psychographics and how to craft the language of an offer. And I'm pretty proud that from stage, I close pretty well. My offers are usually, I don't know, but I do pretty well. And so I've been fascinated by them. And I gave a workshop recently where I went through how to create offers that work. And I was just shocked by people's trouble with the offer. People's trouble with the offer, like bringing people through the process of going from, so have I, the information I've shared with you for the last 30 minutes, has that been of value? All the way to here, take some action and you can have more. The struggle, the jumbled words, the lack of emotion, the lack of clarity was astounding. And so
lack of confidence.
Lack of confidence. And just like there's energy in words.
Right.
There's energy in words. I liken it to if you take gunpowder and you spread it out over a cornfield and you try to light it, what happens?
Yeah.
Well,
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing is going to happen. Now take that same amount of gunpowder and put it in a little M80 stick.
Oh, you better run for the hills.
So when it comes to words, less is more. And so I was struggling with this. I was sitting with this problem and I went to bed. I woke up at 4 a.m. with the solution. Do you see the pattern here?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I woke up at 4 a.m. and I came up with this idea. Well, what if I took the framework that I've been using in my own offers and I made an app that does like the similar thing that ScriptPal does, but it does it to help people create offers.
Wow.
Where they enter some information about their product and the pieces of value they deliver and a bonus that they can offer and their call to action. What do they want people to do? And maybe a free gift and whatever guarantee what if they just answered about 10 questions and out came the script? Would that be useful?
You better believe it. And Don, I'd like to share a little bit about, I got to give Mr. Bill Heinrich a plug here, because one of the things that we found when people came to us, what is it you want to do? I want to make money. I want to create a sale. And they did not have the clarity. And Donnie hit the nail on the head there when Don was talking about when they get ready to do their offer. If you don't have clarity in your mind, you do not have confidence. They go hand in hand. And people can pick up on it when you're nervous in front of an audience. And we have a free offer there from Mr. Bill Heinrich. To get your free ebook on clarity, just go to myfreebook.me, M as in Mike, E as in Echo, just right there. And it is jump right into your email box, and it's a wonderful gift. It's a free gift from Mr. Bill Heinrich. So I got to tell Bill I'm going to send him a bill for that. And he'll send me a bill for all the things he's done for me, which is much bigger than mine.
Yeah. Bill, in fact, Bill and I make like the perfect complement when it comes to creating the 6-minute webinar. Mm-hmm. Bill is about clarity. So he has really been the architect for getting clarity in each one of those 12 sections. And I'm the more structure person. So I'm the architect of the framework, and Bill is the architect of the messages and clarity within the framework. So when we combine those two things together, it's just created this magic that is the 6-minute webinar, and then Script Pal, and then now Irresistible Offer Pal, which is the new app.
I'm going to put this there about your, this is a website to your meeting this Saturday. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'm offering this Saturday, and I may do ones in the future. It's how to create offers, great offers that work. How to create offers that work. And there is an architecture, just like the 12 pieces of the 6-minute webinar. There's something similar for offers. And so that's what I'm teaching. I walk you through, there's 5 characteristics you have to have in an offer that works. And then they have to all be there. Every one of these 5 characteristics have to be there. And then there's a sequence of 10 things that you walk them through psychologically to go from yes, what I gave you was of interest to you, to yes, I want more. And so I'm teaching that this Saturday. It's called Creating Offers That Work. It's free. When I say free, it's free. Not like free to come and $1,000 to leave.
And they got security guards at the door. It won't let you out, but you got a receipt in your hand. Also, too, ladies and gentlemen, that link that you see there, it'll be in the description of the show. It'll be in the. I'm going to go to Messages of Inspiration and Hope on Facebook. I will post it there underneath the show. It's going to be on YouTube, Messages of Inspiration, Hope, and Support. And if you can't remember that and you get lost or something, all you got to do is just email Don at 6minutewebinar.com, or you can email either me or Donna at, I'm not trying to find it. There we go. inspiratione360tv.com. We'll be glad to get that information to you, because
Absolutely.
that is putting money in your pocket. And that's what we're here for. We're here to serve you.
Right. We're here to help lift you up and support you in your journey.
Oh, yeah.
Plain and simple.
And when you come to that workshop, come ready to work. You're not going to just sit back. I mean, I'll do a little bit of teaching, but I'm going to get your noodle going. I'm going to get your noodle. Both Donna and Jim, you know the nature of the trainings that I typically do. Mm-hmm. It's hyper engagement. I mean, I'll be asking questions. I'm not going to put you on the spot. I won't be putting you on the spot, but I'll be asking questions, and then you're going to get a chance to actually go through and try out an offer. I call it like trying on shoes or trying on pants or that dress. You're going to get a chance in the workshop to try it, see how it feels. And I'll give you some A to A plus. The kind of coaching I do is like, that was an A, but you want to take it A to A plus.
And
really gets.
I'm sorry. Just real quick. If I can say this, when you come to this workshop, I want you to understand, because I've been there, it is a safe zone. Okay. You are totally safe there. You are not going to feel silly because maybe your wording wasn't right. Everybody there is there to help you.
Mm-hmm. And when you say everyone is there to help you, the thing that surprised me on that very first webinar, it was 3 hours long, no bio breaks. So, I mean, he has dropped the plows down, gave the tractor the throttle, and we're plowing some fields here, folks. And what was amazing that really shocked me was 2 things. We had about 48 or 49 people there. Nobody left during the entire 3 hours, number one. But as Don got everybody involved, as he was saying, what really turned into was actually a mastermind. I started to say a mini mastermind, but 49 people, you can't be too many there. But it turned into a mastermind, and it generated ideas from some of the people attending, just like you're going to attend, and it was just electrifying. And when Don got ready to say, well, we want to respect everyone's time, it's now 3:02 p.m. Eastern time, there were two ladies that says, wait a minute, we want more.
Right?
And I tell you, that blew me away, Don. It really did, because 3 hours.
I know. And the energy that Bill and I generate together in that is, we had some pretty high level marketers in there. People have been in the game for a very long time. And Bill and I talked to one of them later, and he said, the only person I've ever seen be able to take that many people on a 3-hour journey and not have people drop off, not a single person drop off, is
That's
Frank
right.
Kern. So Frank Kern, if you don't know Frank is like the grandfather of internet marketing. He's just a master at keeping people's attention, and he's entertaining. And so to even be mentioned anywhere, like with that, anywhere in that realm, even to carry his shoes, Bill and I were just blessed and honored to even be included in a sentence with Frank Kern.
Oh yeah, because the value that the people got there was just tremendous. And people were just thanking you and thanking you and thanking you, and comment after comment after comment, because they got tremendous value. That's why I said, and when I opened up the show, be sure and let any entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to get on this training here, because you can't afford to miss it. It's going to take 3 hours of your time. And I'll tell you right now, you'll be glad you did.
And it's a really quick 3 hours. It goes by in a heartbeat, right? It goes by so quick. And the beautiful thing is that when you were in this workshop, you literally are learning not only from Don and Bill and Jim, but you're learning from everybody else who's in there, because they say something and the light bulb goes off in your head and you're like, man, I should have thought of that. That would work for me.
Yeah. And the beauty in that is because when you have that many people come together with their knowledge, background, and experience, you get an abundance of great information that you would not receive anywhere else. And Don, we've got about 12 minutes, about 10 minutes left on the show here. I want to make sure you have an opportunity to share anything else, because that's why you're here, my man.
Well, I do want to share one more, I think, fact that some people might be very interested in. So I think I mentioned before, our boot camps, we run them almost monthly, not quite exactly, maybe once every 5 or 6 weeks. And the next one we have is coming up on January 30th, 6-minute webinar boot camp at 9 a.m. Pacific on January 30th. And typically that's $99. But because we're kicking 2021 off to an unbelievable start, and how Jim and Bill and I want to get this to as many people as possible, we're offering this boot camp for $20.21.
I told a gentleman about that today. Yeah, he's going to be on the TV show, and he's interested in that. I got to get information too, Chris. And he says, $20.21. He says, that is absolutely brilliant. Who did that? I said, well, I'd like to take the credit, but I got to be honest, it wasn't me. It was higher up on the food chain than I am.
But really, I like to say that's like cost of a few apples from Whole Foods, right? Or like a medium pizza. It's a cost of a medium pizza, not even a good pizza, but just a medium pizza.
You're cracking me up, my man. Go ahead.
So instead of feeding your face for a half an hour, come and feed your soul. Come and feed your business. Come and feed your mind. Come and feed your expertise.
Yeah.
$20.21.
Yeah, that's right. You can always go out and
Right? But feed your mind, your heart, your soul, and your business so you can feed yourself better later in life.
There you go. Then you'll be able to go out and afford and wolf down some of them hot dogs and pizzas.
Right?
So we got a couple minutes, Jim?
Yes, sir. We got about 8 minutes left, sir. Go ahead.
All right. How would you like to hear the 5 things that must be in your offer to make them work?
Go.
These are 5 things. You better get a pen and pencil and a piece of paper. These are 5 things that must be in your offer. Have to be. And let me just clarify, an offer can be you have a lunch with someone and it appears that they could use your services. You can make an offer to them. You could be in a video and you can make an offer. You could be in a networking meeting and make an offer. This isn't like just from the stage. This isn't just in some formal setting. You make offers all the time. You make offers all the time. And these apply to all of these offers. Okay. So the first thing, it has to be singular. What do I mean by singular?
You got to have them focused on one thing.
One thing. Act, no act. And Jim, you've heard me say this a million times. If you offer people, well, you could do it, have my book, or you could get this, you know, it's like when I go to the store and Sylvia wants low-fat yogurt and I see the wall of yogurt and I walk out of the store with no yogurt because our confused mind does not act.
That's right.
So yes or no, that's it. So singular. It has to be reciprocal. What do I mean by reciprocal?
Repeatable.
Well, reciprocal is I'm going to ask you of something, and when you do it, I'm sorry, in return. So it's reciprocity. And in fact, what I give you is going to be way higher value than what I'm going to ask you for. And that's the third one. It has to be compelling. Has to be compelling. So singular, reciprocal, compelling. The next one is it has to be clear. Like you have to know exactly what you do. Text this to this number. Push this button. You know exactly. Again, a confused mind. What do?
They don't make a decision.
They do
How many
nothing.
times have you been to an event or something and somebody makes an offer that says, "Well, come find me later." Right? Come find me later, and then you leave, and people are like, "Okay, where's the donut? I'm hungry," or "There's coffee," or whatever. Okay, so the final thing it must be what I call trust appropriate. What do I mean by trust appropriate?
It's got to be practical. It's something that someone can actually believe and trust. It can't be, sky high or something that's just, blows their mind.
It can't be out of the reach.
It can't be out of their reach. And Jim and I were at an event. In fact, it was early on in our friendship where someone got up on a stage, gave a 10-minute talk, and made an offer for a $25,000 coaching program. That's not trust appropriate. Maybe like, give me something, after 10 minutes.
I still remember that. We were sitting in the audience and we kind of like, are you kidding me? Yeah. And for 5 minutes, I'll only charge you $12,500.
So those are the 5 things. So I hope you wrote them down. And when you go to make an offer, check. And if there's not a checkbox by one of those things, revisit your offer. So one more thing. You must, this is about the golden rule. You must love your offer.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Absolutely.
If you are so excited to give your offer, scrap it and redo it. You must love your offer. That's a golden rule.
Yeah. Because if you don't love your offer, it's going to come through. People are going to know that you're just trying to hawk something. You're just trying to get something for a buck.
You're just trying to hustle. Yep. You're just trying to hustle.
You're just a wannabe.
Right.
You want to be the real bee.
Right.
Yep. So those are the nuggets that I wanted to share, some actionable things that are free and people can walk away and just put into action because success rewards
action. Yeah. Be sure and get in touch with Don there. Don at 6minutewebinar.com. That's his email address. He'll be glad to get in touch with you, share any information you need. And be sure and share our show with the information here with others, because the entrepreneurs and solopreneurs out there, without having good connections, without having good training, they're struggling. Because if they're not making sales, guess what? They don't have a good webinar, period. Regardless of how long it is. But the 6-minute webinar, game over.
It takes you from mediocre to outstanding, right? Outstanding. That's what it does. And you know what? Everybody involved wants to see you succeed.
Yes, absolutely. And the thing I love about the 6-minute webinar too is that because you have, without saying it, you have respected other people's time, and that's extremely, extremely important. No one wants to hear no one wants to hear a 30-minute sales pitch and it turns into a pressure pitch.
Right. And time is something we can't get back. It's the one commodity that we can't get back is time.
Absolutely.
We've had everybody from people just getting started, just starting their business say, oh my goodness, I've tried for months to learn stuff like this. And in 3 hours, you guys took me 2 years ahead. All the way up, we had someone who was a top 200 seller on Amazon. Top 200 seller on Amazon. So hundreds of millions of dollars worth of sales, say he has never gotten as much clarity about what he does than after he went through the 6-minute webinar. So this is good for the spectrum of whether you're just getting started or whether you've got hundreds of million dollars in sales.
Right.
That's what's really incredible, because usually most trainings or stuff like that, they start out and, you got to keep building up. And right here, this is it. This is the ultimate. And I tell you, Donna, I remember the first time you went through the 6-minute webinar and you were struggling, trying to get your words right and all that. And then Don with this, having brain cramps, right? But Don, when he created that script, pal, you answer one question at a time. That way you can focus on one question at a time. You're not looking at the big picture. You put it in there and we get your questions answered. Boom, hit submit and game over. You got it. That's simply amazing. It really is.
And Jim and I would be happy to answer any question or get you in touch with Dawn or anything that we can do to help you in your journey and in your business through the 6-minute webinar.
Absolutely. And Don, I want to put your website up there too, because you've got a great website.
And I want to give a shout out to you two for all that you're doing and working so hard, to get these shows done every day and get all of this great information out to people. This is a lot of work, and I know a lot of hearts going into that. So I appreciate you having me and having me a part of this, but I want to acknowledge the heart and soul and hard work that goes into putting this in the wonderful guests that you're having on and the information you're putting out. It's wonderful. So I want to give you a shout out.
Well, thank you very much, Don. It really makes it wonderful for us when we get feedback from people and know that we've been a blessing to others in their hour of need. That's the paycheck for us. That's why we do what we do. And that's why poor Donna puts up with me every Thursday, here on the guest VIP day. And that's why she still calls me her distant cousin, because I'm here in Texas and she's out there in Phoenix, Arizona, as I like to say. And Dandy Don's up there in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So that's the beauty in the virtual stage and how we can come together from 3 different locations and give you some fantastic training and some fantastic information. And again, be sure and stop by and visit our sponsor, the 6minutewebinar.com, because you're in for a treat. If you've been struggling, and it's been like pushing a chain uphill for you, the 6-minute webinar is what you've been looking for and searching for.
The struggle's over.
Yep. Any other closing words? We're about 30 seconds out, so I'm going to turn.
Just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And Dawn, thank you for joining us today. And as always, Jim, thank you.
My pleasure to be here. Thank you, Don. Appreciate you, Dandy. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same station with the everyday people. And we hope and pray this has been a blessing to you. If it has, let us know and be sure and share this with others. I'm Jim Grant. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone.